Oh, good morning from beautiful downtown Crestline. Tora is saying hello, aren't you? Come on, say hi. Cats. In the San Bernardino Mountains, cat treats of Southern California's Inland Empire. Okay, oh, you brought your friend, huh? Okay, here's Tora's treats and there's Sweetie's treats. Sweetie is a black cat sitting in the dark, so I can't really get her on camera. Okay, it is October 30 in the year of our Lord 2025, and I'm not feeling well. Oh well, here I am. It's pretty much a done deal. No food stamps this month, and next in line will be things like welfare. I'm not on welfare, but I know people who are. Here. Whew. Let's fiddle with the camera. Man, those black spots on my face are not. They're an artifact of the camera. They're not on my face. I do have a couple spots of keratosis. Basically, it's the same stuff that your fingernails are made of, but when it gets on your skin, you have to get rid of it. It's considered pre-cancerous. I don't know. Anyway, oh man, got one of those headaches that shoot through your eyes. Woke up with it. So I've got Alka-Seltzer, tea, coffee, and water. Alka-Seltzer is basically aspirin. Among the many headache remedies available, at least for me, I believe that aspirin is the safest. Oh. Water, coffee, and tea. I start the day with water and coffee because I know I'm dehydrated. And I like tea, so I get that too. And today, Alka-Seltzer as well. Oh man, you cats. Tora, are you ready to say hi to your adoring fans? Where's your face? Smokey Sue, you're getting in on the action, huh? Smokey didn't get any treats. There's Tora. Here you go. Smokey is a one cat wrecking ball. She plays too rough, and the other cats don't like it. Yeah, more cat treats. I want some people treats. I do have some chocolate. Here, Smokey. Here, Sweetie. Here, Tora. Okay. Cats. Well, my food stamps never did cover all of my groceries anyway. I guess If I had 6 kids, I'd get one of those $2,000 EBT cards, but I'm 71 years old and not likely to get pregnant. Darn thing went out. Shame on you. I've had to cut way back on smoking because they're expensive. It's one of my very few vices, cigarettes and coffee. Actually, coffee can be very good for your health. I don't remember exactly why at the moment, but caffeine is good stuff in moderation. Wow. I've successfully made sweet and sour pork and ate it. Next time I make it, I guess I'll put it on camera for my cooking show, Kitchen Challenged Cook. Um, wow. I think I should have gone with chicken. The pork is kind of chewy. And I still can't get my dentures in because of this stupid tumor on my lip. I am getting treatment for it. It is shrinking, but it takes a long time. They said something like 6 months. And that's an optimistic estimate. Oh, well. So, anyway, it's a lovely morning, a little chilly. Well, hello, RW. Welcome in. Yeah, I happen to have pork on hand, so that's what I used. But now, since you don't want to eat undercooked chicken or pork, I kind of did it wrong, but it's the way I do it. I slow baked the pork. It was what they call a pork steak. It's like a pork chop, but not exactly. So I slow baked it for like 2 hours at 350. So it was cooked before I dipped it in batter and fried it in oil. I did not deep fry it either. I'm too afraid that I might start a kitchen fire if I'm heating a big pot of oil on the stove. So, anyway, I put it in a frying pan with about an inch, maybe 2 inches of oil. Uh, RW likes to roast off a pork loin now and again. Yeah, I think what they are calling a pork steak is from the loin. The bone in it looks like that. Uh, it might be a shoulder. No, I don't think it's a shoulder chop. I think it's more from the loin. Oh, RW cooks pork loin in a covered clay pot with fruit juice and Goya Goya spices? Not sure what those are. Well, depending on what I'm cooking, I often soak things in orange juice or apple juice. Oh, Goya brand Mexican blends. I see. Excellent, RW. Yeah, so anyway, for the batter, I had a box of, uh, oh, come on, brain. I'll have to get it. I forgot the word again. Oh, got it. Minute I stood up. It's called tempura batter. It's just this dry mix that you add water to, but I added an egg to the tempura flour and some water. And I dipped the little, after I cut the pork into small bites, I dipped them in that batter and fried them. Then came the part that I always mess up is the sauce. Now, in a Chinese restaurant, I'm pretty sure they just cook the onions and peppers in the sauce. And I'm not into hot peppers, so I used a bell pepper. And I actually fried them off a little bit, with a tiny bit of oil in the frying pan. And then poured in the, soy sauce and some lemon juice and grenadine. Grenadine, it's usually added to cocktails, and it used to be made from pomegranates. So it was like a syrup made with pomegranate juice, but now that they're all made with cherry juice. Oh well, close enough. Let's see. And oh yeah, a cornstarch slurry to thicken it. You take a spoonful of cornstarch and some water and mix it up real good in cold water and then pour it into your sauce. Trying to remember. Oh, I wanted to put orange juice in it, but I didn't have any orange juice. So that's why I used grenadine. Very sweet cherry syrup. Alka-Seltzer. Water. Coffee. And tea. I'm spilling as much as I'm drinking. RW is grabbing a cup of coffee. I wonder what it would be like if I soaked the pork in juice, fruit juice, apple juice or orange juice. Anyway, the tempura box says to just add water, but I threw in an egg. I wanted to be sure it would stick to the pork, and eggs are protein. I don't eat a lot of eggs by themselves, but I put them into recipes. And I've had it with the Quaker Oats recipe for oatmeal cookies. They just don't come out the way I want them. They get really flat, thin, and crispy, which is okay, but it isn't what I wanted. I wanted them a little thicker and softer. So I'm going to look for other oatmeal cookie recipes. And I put raisins in them, and I usually soak the raisins in fruit juice ahead of time, but I forgot to this time. Next time. But I got this recipe off a YouTube channel. I forget which one. For raisin pie. I actually watched several videos about raisin pie. It's kind of like mincemeat pie. Mincemeat is not meat. it's like apples and raisins and spices. I have some apples. So I think when I make the raisin pie, I'll add apples and some spices to imitate the flavor of mincemeat. Now, at one time, mincemeat did, in the like hundreds of years ago, mincemeat did include meat sometimes if you had it. But now you can get a jar of mincemeat in the baking section at the grocery store, and it's a thick uh, mixture of apples and raisins and spices, sometimes some other fruits. And of course, you can make a mincemeat pie or mincemeat cookies with it. So I'll try to kind of imitate that with the raisin pie by adding apples and spices. Cloves, where you have to be careful with cloves, they'll overpower all the other flavors. So don't use a ton of them. Same with nutmeg. Cloves and nutmeg can elevate the flavor of just about any food, whether it's a meat dish or, a savory dish or a sweet one. And the point with them is that, well, with nutmeg, you want to use so little that you don't really taste the nutmeg, but there's something special in it. Cloves, you're going to know that it's cloves, but don't use very much, or once again, that's all you're going to taste. I'm learning to cook. I've had more failures than successes, but I've been making things like meatloaf and lasagna for decades. And I even screw them up sometimes. But usually it's edible. And you never know with men. They'll eat something that I wouldn't go near. Most men that I know. Oh, wow. The headache is dissipating a little. Oh, another thing about caffeine, since I just sipped the coffee, it elevates the efficacy of the aspirin. That's why Excedrin has caffeine added. But I don't use Excedrin because it contains Tylenol. And I like my liver and I want to keep it. They're finally, officially, recommending that you not use Tylenol regularly. It should not be your go-to pain medication because it can destroy your liver in large amounts, they say, or with continuous use. I need a fresh coffee, RW. My coffee's cold and almost empty. Oh well, I'm shivering a little because I opened the door for the cats to go out and play. I'm going to go shut it. Be right back. I think I'll put the kettle on too. I really need more coffee. Don't go away. I'll be back. Oh Lord. Yeah. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. Almost back. I'm real slow this morning. My knees feel like they've got rubber bands, tight rubber bands in them. Oh, gosh. I've got a mess down here. Got to make room for my feet. Um, uh, with coffee, I've had to resort to organic free trade coffee because every brand I can find in the grocery store has declined in quality to where it tastes bad and really doesn't agree with me. Oh, RW had a bad wisdom tooth and took triple doses of Aleve just so he could sleep. Yeah, Aleve. I have generic Aleve. I'll take that once in a while, but not regularly and not in huge doses. Although sometimes I take two. Yeah, so your dentist said it can cause bleeding in the liver. Yeah. Now, aspirin has some side effects, but uh, and it can cause bleeding all over. It's a blood thinner. So you don't want to take it every day or in large quantities. But, you need to balance the side effects with the um, benefits. You know, um, Aleve used to be a prescription painkiller, but it was a higher dose then. But, if you do it once and then don't use it for a while, you're giving your body time to recover from the side effects. I'm pretty much against medications if unless I've got something life threatening or intractable, it won't go away. In fact, the only medication I have is this emergency inhaler. They originally gave me another kind that was use this twice a day, but it had side effects. I was getting a sore throat when I wasn't sick. So they told me, no, don't use that anymore. And frankly, my COPD isn't that bad. I have this little oxygen meter thing you put on your finger. My oxygen levels are fine. They aren't 100%, but they're good enough. But once in a while in the morning, I can't cough up the gunk that accumulates overnight, so I use the inhaler. Oh, the tea kettle's calling. I'll be right back. Uh, Might as well refill the water while I'm there. Hi, Tora, pretty kitty catty. Cowabunga. Oh, Lord. Uh, boy. Whoopsie. I could not refill the water because I took the tea out there. I'll be right back again. Oh boy. Now in the crock pot, I'm making stew or soup with the remains of what the grocery store called a chuck roast. Oh, hi, Pio and Witta. Welcome in. Haven't heard from Witta in quite a while. So I have this little slow cooker, crock pot, whatever. And what the grocery store called a chuck roast looks more like a thick steak. It's less than 2 inches and it's, flat. It looks like a steak. But believe me, chuck steak has to be prepared. You can't, well, I suppose you could just grill it or fry it, but it'll be tough as rubber bands. So I slow cooked it and put it then, about 300 to 350 Fahrenheit in the toaster oven, covered for the first hour and a half, and then uncovered for 30 minutes, and then put it in the crock pot with some carrots and onions and stuff. Put it on low overnight because I want that meat to get tender. Oh, Witta saw my cinnamon video on the cooking channel. Awesome. RW says Denver steaks are great. They're considered an inferior cut, but quite delicious. He pounds them and marinates them in mango juice. Yeah, well, the thing about the chuck roast, which looked more like a chuck steak, is it's a cheaper cut and it has lots of fat, and I think fat is the best part of the steak. It has all the flavor. I don't want lean beef. Alka-Seltzer, water, coffee, tea. It really irks me to see how they cut all the fat off the edge of a T-bone or a porterhouse. That's the best part, and they cut it off because people think they shouldn't eat fat. If you deprive your body of the nutrients in fat, you end up craving more carbs, bread, crackers, donuts, cookies. And those are a bigger problem than fat. As I told my doctor more than once, my brain is made of fat. My hormones are made of cholesterol. All my cell membranes are made of cholesterol. And you want me to cut fat out of my diet? I don't think so. Well, good morning, Jason. Good to see you. Welcome in. I'm almost awake finally. the cats made me get up at 6 and feed them, and then around 7:30, they finally talked me into opening the door so they could go outside. It's cold out there. Let's see. My computer says it's 62. I don't believe it. It feels like 42. Let's see. Let's see what the phone says. Yeah. 51 when I got up and 58 now. My phone tends to be more accurate. And I had an outside thermometer, and a massive storm blew it off, and because of the part with the fluid that goes up and down to tell you the temperature was glass, and it broke. We aren't getting a whole lot of rain around here, but it's weird. At night it goes down to 40, and in the daytime it goes up to somewhere between 70 and 80. So I've had to run the heat more than I want to pay for. Jason says it's 66 in Arizona. Wow. Lord. So anyway, only reason I'm getting by this month is my son helped me out. I really need to get a laptop computer before this old desktop bites the dust, but it's going to have to wait. This desktop was a gift from an online friend who set up donations from his friends, and I'm pretty sure that was before COVID. So that makes this thing 5 or 6 years old, which is a long life for a desktop. RW says we usually have very dry winters in Virginia, but in the past few years they've been really wet. Wow. Pio still thinks he'll switch to Linux eventually. Well, I had to be dragged kicking and screaming into using computers at all. And then I was forced to use the internet, both of those for work. Windows computer can't run Windows 11 and is also ancient. Yeah, well, now Microsoft wants to upgrade my Windows 11 to, let's see what it's saying. Windows 11 version 25H2 is available. The problem is they use up my internet when they do things like that. They don't ask me, they just start uploading files, and then I can't get my email or watch a video or visit Facebook. And they don't even tell me that they're going to do it. And they're supposed to do that when you are not active, but they always do it in the middle of the day. Oh. RW replaces parts on his PC. Had it since 2010. Well, And Pio needs to replace the RAM in his laptop. Well, I have 3 dead laptops. What happened to one of them, well, 2 of them actually. The old-fashioned hard drive that spun itself into oblivion, and all it does is give you a grinding sound. The third one was an old notebook, a little tiny thing, compared to, about half the size of a laptop and a third of the weight, which is nice. I liked that. But it just won't start. It just sits there going, yeah, what do you want? Go away, I'm sleeping. I looked into Chromebooks, but they don't save any of your data. So you have to either put it on a memory stick or something like that, or pay to keep everything in the cloud. The free cloud storage is very limited, and when things reach a certain age or it starts to get full, they start deleting things. So I've got to go through all my memory sticks from the last dead computer. Because there's files that I need. So Chromebooks are cheap, small, lightweight, portable, but there's the thing about not being able to save your files on the device. They're all in the cloud. Not good for me. I think I would prefer if they did not have all that stuff in the cloud. Because the cloud can be hacked and you'll never know it. But the stuff on this computer is being stored in the cloud. Weirdness. And when I upload something from the cloud, unless I am, save it somewhere else, like on a website, all it stores is a link to the cloud. Yeah, Jason, I'm ticked off about Microsoft Word being a prescription. I bought Microsoft Office years ago on a disk that I could install on any computer. And now you have to pay them every month to use it? Pio sold some parts from his old PCs. Yeah. Well, I got this program called LibreOffice. It's free. There is a paid version, but LibreOffice, it's free. And you can save a document as a Word document or under their own program, an Office document, a LibreOffice document. Oh, Jason, you have a laptop with Windows XP. I miss XP. It was good. I liked XP, and it was easier to get things done that I wanted to do. I'm going to chain smoke this morning. And I'll have to go all day without because I can't afford these things right now. Super customizable. That's right, RW. XP was really nice. Well, I don't use Microsoft Cloud Service. They just do it without asking. Oh, geez. Pio has XP on a CD somewhere. Haha. Oops, I'm looking for water. Darn. I hate computers. Phil never had a computer, by the way. For those who don't know, I was married to Philip K. Dick, science fiction author, Blade Runner, Minority Report, Total Recall, etc. Pio still runs Windows 10. RW has a Win11 debloater and crap fixer to remove the junk. Like spyware and BS. Yeah, it runs better that way, huh? Yeah, Phil knew people who had computers, but he never had one. He would not even get an electric typewriter because he said you'd end up with what he called word diarrhea. It would be so easy to type that he would use a whole bunch of unnecessary words and type a bunch of bad writing instead of using his manual typewriter and thinking about it. Oh, Jason's mentally preparing for his day. Theo hates authority, will not be strong-armed into anything. Well, I declined Windows 11 repeatedly, and then one morning I turned on the computer and it just uploaded Windows 11 without asking. Oh man. Uber has slashed your pay by half? No wonder you're trying to find a regular job. That sucks. Well, that's what happens when California hands out driver's licenses like candy. Wrong cup. Gosh. Oh, their drivers in California are allowed to form a union? I don't like unions. Wow, Witta. I don't think I've ever joined a union. Some of my relatives were in unions and they didn't like it either. They said, yeah, they take your money every month, but when you need them to help you, they are useless. And when they call a strike, you have to go on strike, whether you want to or not. You don't get, the union will pay you a little bit when you're on strike, but nothing like your regular salary. Time for chocolate. Just a little piece so I can keep talking. Wow. Ridiculous. And Witta has linked to the article. Okay. Well, funny thing happened. About a week ago, a realtor called me up and said she had a client who wants to buy my house. Had the address and everything. And I replied, sorry, my house is not for sale. And then yesterday, in other words, about a week later, I got a notice from code enforcement that somebody complained about my messy yard. Coincidence? Or someone angry that I won't sell them my house? Yeah, it's a little messy, but not like the junkyard that I lived next door to for over a year before they finally kicked out the squatters. The county had to condemn that house and declare it uninhabitable because the owners could not get the squatters out. And it really looked like a junkyard. There was all kinds of stuff piled up everywhere, mostly out front, which is a big no-no. That it's an eyesore as well as hazardous. Let's see, Jason says, Uber has a thing now where if you're a woman, you don't have to have a male driver. Yeah. Well, they've had a couple incidents of attacks on women passengers. So that's why they instituted that policy. Uber has a thing that if you don't drive, you can do stuff with AI to help train AI. Help you right out of your own job, most likely. Huh. Well, so far, from my experience with and others' reports of the results from AI, it looks like all AI does is search the internet for the answer to your question. It searches faster than you can search, but it's still just searching the internet. That isn't exactly intelligent, especially since the Google AI, when I search for something, gives me Wikipedia, the most unreliable source that I can think of. RW says his house is mostly uninhabitable in winter. Yeah, can't afford to heat it. One electric oil heater to keep the bedroom warm and one to keep the kitchen and bathroom above freezing, but that's it. Well, fortunately, I have a gas-powered wall heater, but yeah, actually, I don't use the bedroom. I sleep in the recliner chair in the living room, and my bathroom just is close enough to the heater that it's above freezing, but still kind of chilly. I do have to let a faucet drip overnight so the pipes won't freeze. That isn't what I want. I want this. Yeah, RW, AI is software. Software doesn't automatically get better over time. Humph. Oh, wow. Yeah, cats come in handy. Furry little heaters. But see, they don't really sit with me, they sit on me. And they steal my blankets. Anyway, my bedroom is basically a storage room at this time. Get things out of the way in the living room by shoving them in the bedroom. RW says there's lots of stray cats hanging out. Not friendly, but no issues with mice lately. Yeah, back in the dark ages when I lived in Garbage Grove, that's what we called Garden Grove, little city near Anaheim in Orange County, California. The neighbors were disapproved of my having cats, but they had roof rats in their houses. They had to get exterminators. I had no rat problem between the cats and a couple of dogs. No rats at my house. Oh well. I didn't have as many cats as I have now. Oh my. It's ridiculous. I haven't seen Grandpa in 2 or 3 weeks. I have a feeling I'm not going to see him again. I'll never know whether he found a home or died. He was very old. Old Tomcat. And I haven't seen his girlfriends either. It's possible that they were picked up by a rescue or by animal control. So now I'm down to 5 cats again, which feels good. Except there's a cat that actually has an owner but eats at everybody's house. If you got cat food, he'll find a way to come in and eat it. Oh, well, cats. I haven't given that one a name. I just don't want another cat. I'm only supposed to have 4, and I get by because 2 of them are feral. Wild. They got spayed for free at the place where they cut one of the ears, just take the tip off to tell animal control this cat has been spayed. You don't need to round it up because it won't have kittens. Gosh, cats. So, how long is the government going to stay shut down, and is it affecting you at all? other than the tiny pittance of food stamps, I'm not really affected. Smoking too much. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2 hours, I'm smoking too much. Oh, it's almost 3 hours. Okay, still too much. Um, but apparently 700,000 federal employees are furloughed and not getting paid, and they'll probably be permanently fired. What's that going to do to them personally, to the job market for everybody? They're not being paid and they can't get food stamps. RW doesn't use any government services. Yeah, but going on food stamps would probably be a good idea. I didn't ask for them. I asked for Medicaid. It's called Medi-Cal in California because we're all fancy. Uh, to supplement my Medicare, to take care of co-payments. And they just automatically gave me food stamps on top of that. And during COVID, when they boosted food stamps, I was like, I can't spend them all. I'm one person, I don't eat that much. So I was able to get some of the spices and condiments and sauces that ordinarily are too expensive. Well, now they're cut way back again and they're not enough. And prices have doubled. So they're really not enough. So, I keep selling stuff and begging for donations because I'm suddenly, you know, buying the cheapest cuts of meat and generic products and so forth because I have to save money. I have to pay these utility bills that have gone way up. Water, gas, and electricity all have a monthly fee that you pay before you even use any gas, water, or electricity. I think it's $25 for water, $35 for electricity, and I forget how much it is for gas. And then on top of that fee, you pay for what you actually use. And the water company has started this thing where they round up. Like if you use 580, whatever their measurement is, you pay for 600. Really? Wow. Well, Jason, I wish I could make $100 a day. But yeah, if you used to make twice that, that's a problem. I'm just selling off personal property. It's like yard sale, except I use consignment shops because I'm not able to hold a successful yard sale. Oh, yeah, I remember when ramen noodles were only 10 cents. not $1 a bag. Yeah. Um, the the food bank at the church gives us one pack of ramen once a week. I don't get there every week, but when I get those, if I'm able, I use the noodles and toss out the flavor packet and just put in uh, something like, sorry, I got a bad eye itchy. Um, maybe, make a cup of bouillon or better than bouillon if I have it. And I like to throw in some frozen peas and frozen corn. You know, the flavor packet is so full of chemicals. I really hate to use them if I don't have to. Widow says eggs still cost a lot. RW says eggs are down here. Coffee is ridiculous. I got this. I had to go to Amazon. I got this organic free trade coffee, and it's the same price as a big jar of Taster's Choice, but it's half the size. But I actually read the back of the jar. You use half as much in each cup of coffee, so it works out about the same. I do have some real coffee, but I'm not always up to making real coffee or waiting that long for it to drip through the generic Melita filter thing, where you have this plastic cone and you put in the paper cone and oh yeah, that's true, Jason. You gotta buy gas and feed yourself, make the car payment and the insurance. Oy. Wow, that sucks. Oh, I'm still thinking in terms of when I was working in the 90s. I was making about 1,000 a month, and I was middle class. So my Social Security is based on the wages I was earning. I worked through 2004. Didn't get much of a raise anyway. Yeah, Witta, I'm with you. I don't own a car because I chose to have a home instead. Same here. Anyway, so my Social Security is based on what I was earning when prices were considerably lower. My rent on a really nice 2-bedroom apartment in a good neighborhood was $400. I think it went up to $450. Well, that left me with a little over half my income for everything else. And I had a car. It was an old clunker, that I bought cheap, but I was able to pay cash for the car. It was $800. And it wasn't that old. And it was a Plymouth Duster, which is an upgrade from the Dodge Dart. Awesome car. And good on gas. Oh, and gas had gone up to $1.25 a gallon. Here in the mountains, it's about $5 a gallon for regular. Yeah, Jason saw the financial hardship coming way back in 2017. He was trying to get his family together all under one roof. Nobody wanted to do it. They called him crazy conspiracy theorist. You know, my parents were seeing a horrible crash and civil war and so forth in the 60s. And it kind of happened, but the economy was strong. Wow. Oh my God. You have to pay $1,000 a month on your car. Oi. Last car I had, which I gave up around 2010, might have been 2012. I think it was 2010. My payment was $400 a month, and it was a 2-year-old Toyota. I think it was Corolla. Nice car. Oh wow, a 2009 Toyota Prius, 1,000 a month. Wow. Oh, your uncle's letting you stay with him. That's good. Hope that works out and helps you, with your situation. Yeah, I slept in my car for 2 years while I was working 2 jobs. Couldn't come up with the deposits for an apartment, so I finally rented a room. It's ridiculous. And they keep promising that we can get a bonus, a Doge bonus, a tariff bonus. Everybody can get some money from the government instead of sending our money to the government. It never happens. Oh, wow. In 2014, you and your wife went to the food bank, church food bank, and they gave you expired noodles from 1991. 15, let's see, 13-year-old noodles, huh? Wow. Yeah, well, the um ay. The church I go to is they worship on Saturday. What are they? Oh, Seventh Day Adventist. Uh, they're pretty good. Uh, they do sometimes hand out stale bread. It's donated once a week by a local grocery store, and when it's close to expiration or already there, they donate it. But, even stale bread, as long as it isn't moldy, just stale, I can deal with that. Make French toast. Oh, Oh, yeah. There are services, by the way, like DoorDash, where people shop for you. My local grocery store has their own delivery service. It's only $10. Have them bring you groceries. Oh, plus the cost of the groceries. But what I've noticed lately with the church food bank, people are donating fruits and vegetables from their home gardens. And the quality is much better than the grocery store. Oh, yeah. Social Security is giving a 2.8%, almost 3% cost of living increase. Yeah, well, as long as they keep measuring inflation by the cost of cars, washing machines, and refrigerators, we're stuck with that. They don't base it on the cost of food, clothing, and shelter. Wow. The Seventh-day Church in Michigan, Witta says, gave long expired food. Well, they get donations from actual grocery stores and home gardens. And you get shampoo and soap and toothpaste. Yeah, from the food bank when you went there. Sometimes our food bank has that sort of thing. Last time they had toothbrushes and big cans of Comet cleanser. Yeah, Jason, I gotta have my coffee. RW would go bananas without coffee. I really think my use of coffee is medicinal. I have chronic low blood pressure. When I smoke a cigarette, it shoots up to normal. Oh, yeah. RW swears by the Mennonite market. Yeah, Mennonite, they're like Quakers, only not Quakers. What are those others? Oh, well, they live off the land and avoid technology. Very good communities. Oh, Jason had issues with his heart racing. Yeah, well, if you have that problem, coffee can make it worse. Smoking and caffeine. Well, that'll save you a ton of money for sure, quitting smoking and caffeine, but man, it isn't easy to quit those. Oh, well, I don't think Dr. Pepper has caffeine. It's basically a cherry soda. Don't ever drink Mountain Dew. It has more caffeine than your body knows what to do with. It sent me into overdrive once, totally shaking and unable to relax. Oh, There was a time when Ralph's supermarkets they had a big deal about how their produce was the best and they'd toss out anything that wasn't good enough. And I'd go to their dumpster because my son had pet rabbits. I'd get the produce out of their dumpster for the rabbits, and sometimes it was good enough for us to eat. Ah, Widow says the Catholic Church was giving food that was still good. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the FDA bank, I've given up on them. I already have a lifetime supply of uh, noodles, rice, dried beans, split peas. There is apparently no more government cheese. They used to have basically Velveeta in a generic package and butter. And when my mom was living in Fontana, the FDA would come around in a truck, come to the neighborhood and pass out food to everybody who lived on that block. Now you have to go somewhere to get it, and I don't have a car. I have to get a ride. Fortunately, I usually have a ride at least once a month. Once a month, the church gets a box of produce from the FDA, and it's only for seniors. And there's usually some kind of protein included. It might be eggs, it might be ham, you know, something that's frozen, ham or whatever they've got. Last time it was eggs. And some of the produce, especially if they put tomatoes in the bottom of the box, some of the produce has to be tossed out. I got hiccups. Fruits and veggies. But this time I got a big bag of apples. And the only thing wrong with them is that they're small. Grocery stores don't want them, they're too small. It says her local food bank actually tries to remove anything that's rotten. That is so great, yes. You know, oh, one of the places tried to home deliver, but they kept getting robbed. That's lovely. Yeah, perfect time of year for apples. Um, Wrong cup, water. Well, I get food from the food bank and the food stamps, but that doesn't cover cleaning supplies, paper goods, like toilet paper and napkins. Uh, there's a lot of things that just you gotta have money to buy them because they're not food. You can't even get your kid a bottle of vitamins on food stamps. Or yourself. You can't get aspirin or Alka-Seltzer or Pepto-Bismol or any of that stuff. Cold medicine, cough syrup. You know, things that you need, they're not covered. They aren't food. I can't believe these TikTokers showing how they get all this stuff on their food stamps. One, I don't watch TikTok, but some YouTubers play their clips. This one woman, oh, got food stamps. We're having steak and lobster tonight. Oh, aside from that being ridiculous, I'm not buying shrimp or lobsters lately. There's all kinds of recalls for contamination, including radioactive shrimp, probably from Vietnam. They're notorious for really poor practices. No. I think lobster is overrated. But once in a while, I want a steak, and I'll usually go for a New York strip. About 3/4 of a pound, $10. So I don't do it often. But that's what they used to call a club steak. There's a bunch of other names for it. It's near where they get filet mignon, but it's a tougher cut. But it tastes good. But like, I can't believe my internet is still working at 9:11 in the morning, and what a number for the time, 9:11. But I really like the T-bones and the porterhouse. Porterhouse has, see, the T-bone, one side is just steak and the other side is the filet, but it's real tiny. The porterhouse has a bigger filet. And what I used to do when my son was young, buy one porterhouse, and I'd take the filet and give him the rest, and he wanted the rest because it was bigger, and he'd eat the whole thing. But this filet is easier to chew. But back then it was like $2 or $3 for a steak. Now it's like 10, 20. Some steaks are actually $20 if they weigh over a pound. Oh, Jason has noticed fewer chemtrails in the air since the shutdown. Well, a few nights ago, the Marines had their helicopters circling over our town, some kind of practice drill or something. God, I got itchies all over. Time to wash my hair and take a Benadryl. Don't know why. They don't have to explain. We're surrounded by military bases. The local one, Norton Air Force base closed, and now it's the San Bernardino airport, you know, civilian aircraft. But, we aren't that far from why don't I remember that? I worked there for 12 years. 10 years. March Air Force Base, which is sort of closed, but not completely. And then there's 29 Palms Marine Base, so that's probably where the helicopters came from. RW, gotta run? Well, thanks for being here. I'm gonna have to run pretty soon, too. Oh, Pio made an animated gift for Halloween. How cool. Have a great day, all of you. Now, I haven't noticed a lot of chemtrails, but they are here and there once in a while. See, contrails, the normal jet exhaust, dissipate fairly quickly. These chemtrails don't. They persist. Oh, well, Pio, you could post it here if I give you a wrench. I'll give you a wrench, but then I'm going to take it away. I think it's this one. Now Pio has a wrench, so he can post his link. You did? Are you sure? I don't think people saw it. Please post it again anyway, because I didn't see your link. There we go. Now I see it. Thank you, Pio. Yeah, it's been real. I've been on for almost an hour and a half. Okay. Yes, I see your link now. Okay. Now let's take away Pio's wrench because I have moderators. PlayStation inspired 3D model spinning in a circle. That's so cool. Let's see. Then in the fog. Ooh, that is cool. Wow. Reminds me of some of the Avengers comics. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to get going. I have to clean up my yard because someone complained to code enforcement. Oh, Anthony. Clocks went back in the UK and you forgot. I don't know whether our clocks went back. The phone and the computer do it automatically. Pio was asked to make a submission to an internet magazine. Cool. Congratulations. Shoot. I have some things to pack up and ship, book things, but I haven't got a box that's. All my boxes are either too small or way too big. I might have to do some cutting and taping to form a box that's the right size. But if you are on Facebook and you go to a group called The Phil Dickian, no spaces, I'll type that. F-A-C. Oh, found a typo already. There's people posting images of their Philip K. Dick books, and some are for sale and some are just, look at my collection, isn't it cool? And it is. Sometimes this friend, I think it's his group, Zach Wood, will help me sell my books. He knows people who buy them, and I'm really not that connected. Okay, last of the Alka-Seltzer. Pour the water into it. And he's a bookseller on eBay. Not just Philip K. Dick books, all kinds of stuff. But he's helping me out because he is a book guy. He knows prices and how to rate the condition of the book and so forth. I'm tired and the headache's not going away completely. It's better, but not good. And I think it's because of being outdoors and sweeping up tree dirt, fallen leaves and such. I've developed allergies since COVID. I never had these. Well, I'd once in a while have a bad headache that turned out to be something I ate, but I never had this problem with allergies to weeds and fallen leaves and stuff. Not like I do now. Oh, itchies too. Yeah, it's the allergies. If I wash my hair, it'll take off the crud that is making itchies. I don't like to do that when it's cold, but maybe it'll get warm in the afternoon. Okay, we gotta wind this up. But I was talking about how Phil never used a computer or even an electric typewriter. But I'd be asleep at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd get up and go start typing. And of course, it woke me up. And he'd type for about an hour and go back to bed. And that's how he wrote A Scanner Darkly. And then he'd be doing the same thing all day long. He'd type for a while and then lie down in bed for a while. And he'd hand me his pages to proofread. I did so much proofreading then. And that, all right, Olympus upright typewriter. He'd had it for years. He bought it with the royalties from the man in the high castle. And it was an amazing typewriter. I got it after he passed away. I gave it to my son and he gave it to his sister. But then it didn't work anymore. The carriage was moved by a woven cotton, not a cord, kind of a flat belt, and it had rotted away. But it could have been made to work. Just replace the cotton belt, probably with a rubber one or plastic, whatever they use now. But nobody wants a manual typewriter. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah, manual typewriters are hard to come by. Nobody wants one, but if I want one, it cost me. Let's see what. Oh, coffee. Yeah. We're at an hour and 38 minutes. So, what I do generally is carry a notebook around with me and write by hand with a pen or a pencil. And then I can do that anywhere. I don't need a computer. And then I have time to think about it, read it again, make changes before I commit it to text in the word processor. Hey, good point, Witta. One way to make sure that AI isn't trained on my writing. I'm sure they've read my Amazon books. I keep getting these messages. They're probably written by AI, people who want me to pay them to promote my books. And they'll say really specific things about my books on Amazon. And very flattering. But I'm not going to pay. Just, I'm on a really tight budget anyway. And, turning a book into a bestseller is pie in the sky. That's what irks me about some churches. Oh, you suffer in this world, but pie in the sky when you die. No, that isn't how it works. When you die, that's just the beginning. You have a lot more to do. whether you believe in reincarnation or heaven or whatever, I don't believe that we just disappear when our bodies give up. Oh, well, I gotta go. So let's see, let's sign off. Thank you all for chatting with me and have a great day. Ah, no typos. Amazing. Bye, Pio. Bye, Witta. Bye, Jason. And anybody else, whether you chatted or just kibitzed. Kibitz said? I don't know. Kibitz is a card playing term. When you're not playing the card game, you're just watching someone else play it. That's kibitz. Kibitzing. Bye, guys. See ya.